Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. That was what I consider to be my best sounding Les Paul. Simple as that, my best sounding Les Paul. Now, it's not my oldest Les Paul. My oldest Les Paul is this 1979 Gibson Les Paul Standard. And it's not my most valuable Les Paul. My most valuable Les Paul is this 2016 Gibson Pete Townshend 76 Deluxe. Now also, I guess my favourite sounding Les Paul isn't, in my humble opinion, my best looking Les Paul. I think this 2019 Gibson Les Paul 50 Standard has a better looking top. But this one here in my hand is definitely the best sounding. So, you're probably thinking, what is this guitar, Dunsy? What is this fantastic sounding Les Paul? It is a 1980 Greco Super Real EGF 850 made by Fujigen in Japan. So a brief history of the Super Real series from Greco, basically made 1980 into 1981. There'll be some examples from late 79 I expect, but certainly 1980-81 is your Greco Super Real series. There are 4 models. The EGF 850, this fine guitar here, this is the lowest model. I believe F stands for flame, they're all flame tops. EGF 850 has PU2 pickups and a laminate top. It's a nice looking top, has to be said, but it is a maple veneer over the top of a maple cap. Further up we get the EGF 1000. Now I believe that's also a laminate top. Those have DiMarzio PAF pickups. Same guitar I think, apart from the pickups. Further up the series we get to the EGF 1200. Now these get the legendary, the fabled Dry Z pickups. I've never tried them myself, but my understanding is these are incredibly well voiced pickups. So the EGF 1200, I think that's also a laminate top. Correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm just some guy on the internet. So I believe it's a veneer top as well, but it does have the highest of the pickup range that they had, the Dry Z's. And finally, well, there's maybe a legendary EGF one higher than this next one, but certainly in the catalogues in 1980, 81, the EGF 1800, which has a solid top, Brazilian rosewood fingerboard as well. I don't think these are Brazilian rosewood, who knows, certainly the catalogues weren't always 100% accurate in what models could be available in shops or what models you could order. But the EGF 1800, Brazilian rosewood fingerboard, solid maple top, Dry Z pickups, incredibly expensive guitars these days. Do a Google search for a Greco EGF 1800 and see what they cost. They are not cheap guitars. Never tried one, but I believe they are incredible guitars. So, 1980 EGF 850. This one has a bit of damage. I got it about 6 months ago. I have 2. I've got one from 1981. I'm going to do a future video where I sort of compare them, see if there's any difference. So there's a bit of damage on the top here. I'll put some pictures in. And it's also been refretted. So the fret end nibs have gone. Some people prefer no fret end nibs. I mean, I'm a Gibson traditionalist, as you could see from other Gibson guitars. I'm very much a fan of Gibson guitars and I'm a Gibson traditionalist. I do like fret end binding, but I don't think it makes a huge difference. So this is a bit of damage, has been refretted. It has the stock PU2 pickups, but the covers have been removed. And it sounds fantastic. These PU2s sound great. Now the Super Real series has probably the biggest necks of any of the Grecos that were made. I believe based on a 1958 Les Paul, it has a chunky neck. I love it, it's just so comfortable to play. Some people find big necks uncomfortable, but this is a really comfortable guitar to play. Comfortable to play, sounds fantastic. So this video is really about the sounds of the guitar. It's not me just havering away. Havering in Scottish means talking rubbish. It's not just about me havering away about these guitars. They are beautiful guitars. Greco Super Real series, 1980, 1981. Really are fantastic guitars. And I'm being serious when I say this is my best sounding guitar. It's just, I don't know, it just seems to react really well to your playing, you know, how hard you dig in and stuff like that. So all the sound samples in this video, including the intro, I haven't used any effects other than some reverb and maybe a little bit of delay. I have used stock sounding amps on my Kemper, Marshalls. I think I used a Fender 59 Bassman as well, and an Orange Rocker Verb for the clean sounds. So let's hear some clean sounds and let's look at the specs of the guitar. Sounds glorious clean. Now the pickups aren't particularly powerful. I'll show you the readings of the pickups here. So I guess they're in the same ballpark as vintage Gibson PAF pickups. The bridge pickup on this one is slightly less than the neck. So let's listen to some slightly overdriven sound. Nice, very nice. Don't know about the playing, but the sound certainly is very good. So there you have it. This is my 1980 Greco EGF 850. It is my favourite sounding Les Paul. So the final part of the video, a full song, so you can hear the guitar in the mix. Now I used a Marshall JTM 45 setting on the Kemper, and what I don't normally do in videos, I did various sounds with just the volume turned down and then turning it up full, you know, keeping it at half for the first part of the measure and then turning it up full so you can hear how dynamic the pickups are. And then I put some overdrive on. I think I put a clone on or a tube screamer for the lead sounds at the end, and you can hear what it sounds like. I think it sounds fantastic, I really do. This is a lovely sounding guitar. If you ever have the opportunity to try one of these guitars, a big neck, vintage Japanese Greco Super Real from 1980 or 1981, I would say, give it a go, see what you think. I'm a fan of Gibson guitars. I'm not here to rubbish Gibson guitars, but this is a lovely sounding guitar. It's my favourite sounding Les Paul. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.